Hey there, Eli here with a no-nonsense guide on my favorite use of the Scav Drop. The strategy contained in this video has netted me millions upon millions of rubles over the wipes I've played, consistently catapulting my hideout and quest progress forward at the start of wipes. With around 3,000 hours in the game, I've had some time to play around with strategies, and the best part, it's so simple, someone completely new to Tarkov can do it. For those of you who aren't new to Tarkov, use the timestamps in the video timeline to jump to the drop guide section. For those of you who are new, let's take just a moment to understand at a high level what the pros and cons are to dropping into a raid as a scav versus your PMC, which is your main character. First, what is what's typically referred to as a scav drop? A scav drop is where in the Escapefromtarkov menu option, you select scav instead of your PMC. When you select which map you want to drop into, the game will spawn you in with the loadout of guns, rigs, and whatever else that's visually represented here. That's really it. You get a randomly generated loadout, and if you can find a scav-specific extraction point on the map, you get to keep the items you loaded in with and the items you find. Contrast this with loading in as your PMC, which involves going into your character option here and equipping gear, healing items, grenades, and so on. Something to note here, while your PMC has this pouch, a space for items you'll keep even after you die, your scav does not. If you die on your scav, you lose everything you had on it no matter what. As soon as you leave a scav drop, either by dying or extracting, your scav drop timer begins. This will lock you out from playing as a scav again. There are two ways to reduce the duration of your cooldown timer, by upgrading the intelligence center in your hideout, and increasing your reputation with the vendor known as Fence. Increasing your reputation with Fence can be done three ways: extracting successfully while playing as your scav, killing PMCs or other player scavs who have been marked as traitors, and extracting successfully at special vehicle extracts when playing as your PMC. If you shoot an AI scav or another player scav who hasn't attacked anybody, you're then marked as a traitor, which allows you to be killed by other player scavs for increased reputation. This can be a bit of a slippery slope determining who a traitor scav is and who isn't. This is a skill you'll need to work on. If you kill AI scavs or a friendly player scav, you will lose reputation with Fence. And remember, this only applies when playing as a scav. When you're on your PMC, feel free to kill everything. Now, just a few more notes before we get into the walkthrough guide on how to most efficiently make use of our scav. First, when we drop into a raid as a scav, 95% of the time you'll be entering the map after a significant amount of time has passed. There can be exceptions to this, but that's the general rule. What this means for you is you've missed out on many minutes of gunfire audio clues, making it difficult to know where PMCs, your greatest threat, might be. Those PMCs have also had time to seek out high-value loot areas or kill high-value enemy AI targets. Simply put, you're at a disadvantage in these ways as a scav. Second, Tarkov is part RPG, which means we have skills we level up permanently. Skills like strength and endurance, which affect our ability to close or create distance through running. Skills like health and vitality, which reduces our chance to bleed and fracture, and so on. Our scav's skills aren't shared with our PMC, and because these skills become significant over time as they level up, we want our skills to be leveling up on our PMC, not our scav. This means we want to spend as little time on our scav as possible. Third, and this is an important one, and comes in the form of a question: what's the point of the scav drop? It's a little philosophical, so people will have different perspectives. Mine is this: to make money. The only point of the scav drop is to enable my PMC to progress faster so that I can expand the options of what I can buy from the vendors, so I can give myself a wider array of weaponry and armor in order to have more fun competing with other players. Assuming the point of the scav drop is to make money, and acknowledging that we're typically at significant disadvantages when playing as a scav, we want to maximize three things: profit, time, and survivability. Which brings us to the guide portion of the video and answers to the question of what do we do with our scav drop, which is Daytime Factory. Factory is the smallest map by a large margin in the game. It might as well be a deathmatch arena, the likes of which you'd find in COD or Halo. But don't mistake me, this is the crux of why Factory is an excellent choice for the scav drop. Factory is so small, it's difficult for other players, whether they're PMCs or scavs, to fire a gun without you being able to hear it anywhere on the map. This gives us audio clues, which increases our survivability. Hear gunfire, keep away, keep looting. In regards to time, the smallness of the map allows us to search for loot via containers and dead bodies and get to an extraction point within minutes. You'll see shortly how quickly we can get in and out. Fast, consistent extracts also increase our reputation with Fence, which in turn increases the quality of our Scav's gear and miscellaneous items that we enter a raid with. In terms of profit, it's going to vary. As we increase our reputation with Fence, our starter gear will, on average, be worth more. From there, what we're going to be able to find on each raid is going to vary. That said, in my experience, you're going to average around 200 to 250,000 rubles per extract over time. When you unlock the flea market at level 15 and upgrade your intelligence center in your hideout, you'll continue to increase this average as your flea market fees for the items you sell will lessen over time. Let's touch on just one more thing before we start the guided walkthrough. Found in raid. Tarkov distinguishes between items that you brought into a raid versus items that you found during a raid. Most of the time, if a quest, known as tasks, require you to turn in an item, it needs to be found in raid. Don't worry, the quest will tell you if the item needs to have this status. If you find an item in a raid that spawned when the raid was generated, it has this marker on it. If you leave the raid with it, it keeps its found in raid status while in your inventory. But if you bring that same item back into a new raid on your PMC, it will lose its found in raid status. So take those items out of your pouch, out of your backpacks, wherever, and keep them in your inventory if you want them to keep that status. Now I know that might have been a lot, so let's take a quick moment because I'm going to add one more special caveat to this whole found in raid status thing. When you extract from a raid, if you didn't gain enough experience, whether through looting, healing, or killing, you can get the run through status. If you get this status, it means all of your items you found in that raid lose their found in raid marker. You're really going to have to avoid killing anything and avoid looting to earn this status. But why am I bringing this up in a Scav Drop video? Because it's another point in Factory's favor. When the timer numbers for how long is left in the raid turn red, that guarantees you the survived status, which keeps the found in raid marker on all your found items. And when do we spawn into Factory most often? Usually just before the 10-minute mark, which is when the timer turns red and guarantees us that status. So for example, if you enter a factory raid on your scav and the game loaded you in with some really high value items that you really need for a quest or for some money, most of the time you'll be able to extract almost immediately and keep that found in raid marker. Okay, we've slammed enough high level knowledge into your brain. Let's look at some example drops to give you a sense of where we want to look to loot, what kind of items we're looking to take, and how to deal with potential conflict. Before we get started on the video here, I recommend loading up on your other monitor, if you have one, mapgenie.io/tarkov/maps/factory. There's a link in the description of the video below for that site. Super useful. When you load it up, click Factory and then Hide All, and then scroll down on the left side to Locations and turn on the location pin, as I'm going to use that in this video as a reference for locations for anyone who might not be familiar with the map. Alright, first things first, we're going to check our inventory, move anything from our backpack into our pockets if we can, just to get some more space. And here we're running up the ramp with the pumping station on our left. Right here is a black weapon box. We're going to check that for a scope or other weapon parts or full-on weapons. We happen to find a nice scope here, we'll pick that up. And we're running northeast up to the forklift section. Back here is a PMC spawn, just so you're aware. And if we turn around here heading towards the glass hallway, we have 2 jackets that we will loot. You can get all sorts of nice items in here, hideout items, quest items, keys, and so on. Usually worthwhile to check jackets if you have the time. Here we're running down to the west on the map, down the glass hallway. This is the Gate 3 extract back there past the red wall, and here we have another green wood crate that we're going to check. We're going to head on the western side here of the map up to quest boxes, another green wooden crate. This quest box area, this is called that because there is a quest to place an item in there. And here we're in the stairwell. We can go up into the office hallway if we want to. We're going to go down onto the office's first floor. And in this first room here on the right, we're going to check for this duffel bag here. And we'll go in the back room here, check for some loose loot on the desk. And further in, we'll find a green wood crate and 2 more jacket pockets. Heading out of here into the middle section, we'll grab the toolbox. Looks like it wasn't looted totally, as we have a spark plug available to us. And in this final room, there's some loose loot potential on the shelves. And on the other stairwell, on the first floor, we have a wood crate. We're going to leave that ammo. It's not very good ammo. We're just going to let it sit there. And here under the catwalk, we have another green box. It's been looted, as we can see, because it's open. That means it's been looted since we've entered the map. And we'll hop up here. This is the holding area listed on the map. We've got that black weapon crate there. And over here in the back, we have the Gate 0 extract. This requires a key to unlock that door. It's called the factory key. And so we'll take this little side room back into the holding area. We'll check this forklift tractor thing for some loose loot. We don't find anything. And we'll head up above the Scav bunker as listed on the map for this wood crate. And it's been looted here. On our way into the Scav bunker, we have another green wood crate. And that's empty. And inside the bunker, we'll find this body of a Scav. You can always loot this, it's always available. He can have some pretty nice stuff on him, but this time around we don't have anything. And on the way back, we're going to catch this AI Scav, and we're going to run north on the map. That's the medical tent over there. But we'll run north with the silos on our left here into what is referred to as kill box oftentimes. This is just south of the engine room on the map. And we have another green wood crate. At this point, we haven't found a lot of loot that I would have liked to find, so I'm just going to start picking up everything. And in here we have our stairwell up to the bridge, also known as Sky Bridge. And we'll check our jacket pockets. And over here, just outside, we have 2 more green crates. Lucky us, we found a whole weapon. That's worth a decent amount. And at this point, we're just going to take everything we can. Helmets are oftentimes pretty valuable. So we're going to pick that up, and we'll put it on. Now we'll head up these stairs up to the bridge. On the right there, you can see an opening that looks down over the Gate 3 area that we were in, where the quest box is. And we'll head into the office. This is listed as the foreman's office on the map on floor 2. But generally speaking, people will just refer to this room as the office, as the other rooms are less likely for people to be in, as there's no loot. And here in this office, we have 8 filing cabinets, we have 2 jacket pockets, and we have a safe. So here we'll go through the filing cabinets. These have the potential to spawn a lot of valuable hideout related items that we might want, including flash drives in case you're stuck on that quest. So we'll loot those, we'll hop over. The safe is almost certainly looted, as players who spawn in almost always will loot that first. And this is an extract here, the office window for scavs only. We'll hop out here back into the holding area by jumping off the catwalk, and we'll head downstairs into the tunnels. And this is one of our scav extraction points, the camera bunker door. And so now we've touched on all 3 potential extracts, the Gate 3 one, the office window. The office is up there again. And we're down in the tunnels in Silo Pit right now. And the camera bunker door. So now we're heading down below the medical tent area. If you look on the map, we are just south of the pumping station in that area with all the tractors and all of that. The medical tents are in the lower right of this rectangular area, and we are below that on floor -1. And in here we have a brown tech supply crate. This pile of green crates here can spawn loose random items, such as armor kits, which are very heavy, pretty rare, and rather valuable and useful. And we also have this green wood crate. As you can see here, I'm also checking bodies as we go. Usually worthwhile. Oftentimes people won't be able to take everything or get interrupted and leave stuff behind that could be valuable. And over here on floor 0, again, just south of the pumping station, we have another green crate. And in this container here, food can spawn, which can be useful. And we're going to head north back with the pumping station on our right. And we're now in the engine room. And we're heading right towards the Gate 3 extract. As I've determined, we have enough loot, and we're going to head out. We did miss one of the black weapon boxes, but we'll pick that up in the next video here. This one is much longer than our usual runs. This was about 7 minutes. And the next one will be more of our average, which is closer to 3 minutes or less. This one was a hybrid of showing loot, showing spawns, and all that good stuff, just to familiarize anybody who might be unfamiliar with Factory. So for this next run, you'll see we've spawned in the same area as the prior video. First, we notate that gunfire, it's silenced, so it's a little bit further away, probably in the offices. We're going to go up the ramp next to pumping station and grab this black weapon box, if we can find it. There we go. We got stock, we got some blue gunpowder, that's great. So we're going to turn around, instead of going back into the forklift section, we're going to go underneath the med tents area to check for this brown box and the green container and the grenade case. Looks like it hasn't been looted yet. There's Thermite, that's a nice pickup. We're gonna go ahead and pick up everything else, check for something, loose items over there. And we'll take a look at our grenade box. Keeping our ears peeled, if you will, for any more gunfire to give us some more audio about who's fighting who and where. Looks like none of this has been looted, that's great. We have a grip, we have a scope. These are all items we want to see. And here we'll check in the med tent for this med case. Nothing in there, that's a bummer, but enough has been unlooted that I'm going to check this med supply crate. And looks like it has not been looted either. GM count will pick up. Toilet paper you'll need for very early hideout stuff, but I'm not going to waste my time. It seems like there's enough unlooted areas that we'll be able to fill up the rest of our packs. And we'll check our black weapon box. We'll pick up these things just in case. They'll sell for something. Not a whole lot, but something. And we're back at the Scav bunker, you might remember. And we got a cap in there. We're not going to pick that up. That's not worth much. Check our Scav, and he has loot this time. Some Amelia croutons. That's a quest item for Jaeger. Fairly early on, you might want to check. And we'll hop up here and check our green wood crate here. We're looking over onto the bridge and towards offices just to see if we see someone watching. And there's nothing there. So now we're going to head down. We have the office on our left. We have a dead body here. Let's take a little peek around, see if anybody's kind of watching us. And notice we have the blue armor. Blue armor is worth a lot, but the Yushonka hat is also worth a lot. And we have a decent armor already to sell and not a ton of room. I don't feel like standing out here for a long time. This is the other black weapon box, by the way, that we didn't get on the last run. Okay, that's the other black weapon box. These boxes can be pretty valuable, have a lot of good spawns in them. And we're not going to go bothering with any other boxes because we've filled up our packs. We have a good amount of items. We have some food items that are useful to us. We have some nice hideout related stuff. And we're in and out in, I'm going to say 3 minutes, I think this video is. 3 minutes exactly, right? Quick, dirty, in and out. And this raid ends up giving us around 241,000 rubles in 3 minutes. And that's the beauty of the factory scav drop in a nutshell. In and out, relatively safe, super quick, and if we don't end up finding a lot of items in these cases, we can expand our search and start running around a little more brazenly, trying to find dead bodies, for example, because it is possible that we stumble on a dead raid here and there where everything's been picked clean, no one is there, and we're just SOL. Sometimes that happens, but it's pretty rare. And even if it is a bad raid where you leave with whatever kit you came in with, that's still free money and it's still very quick, as opposed to running your scav on a larger map like Interchange, only to find that all of the loot areas have been picked clean and you've just wasted 20-25 minutes. Or, equally worse, spent those 20-25 minutes and came out with 100k, 150k. That's not really worth your time, in my opinion. Now, we could keep going and analyzing more videos of scav drops, but I think you get the general idea. If anyone out there is watching this and thinking, hey, I've got a really good scav run that I do that's also quick, usually nets me a lot of cash, drop that in the comments below or hang out in my Discord and come let me know there. I'd love to hear about it. And of course, if you found this video helpful, hit like, hit subscribe, it really helps me out. But that's it for this one. So we'll see you on the next. This is Eli, signing off.